Excuse me, can I please talk to you for a minute?
What up, girlfriends? It's your girl, Kindall D, back with the Hey Girlfriend podcast. And today I want to talk about being yourself unapologetically and being yourself even when it's hard to trying to find yourself. This is really going to be about finding yourself and being your authentic self. Because I'll be honest, it's hard to do that. Even for me, and I want to talk about this because I today had to process some feelings and thoughts that come up periodically about me feeling like I'm not good enough to do the work that I do. I don't want to say good enough as far as my total worth, but I mean when it comes to me excelling in my craft and that I do, with I've Been That Girl and all of that. And, I've been working so hard for so long and I'm just trying to keep the motivation going so that I can keep going and keep growing because I've grown a lot. But sometimes I forget that when I look at how far I want to go and when I look at what all I want and don't have yet. So I had a day today and kind of yesterday too. So I'm going to tell you what happened and I'm going to tell you how I processed it and worked through it because this can help you with processing your own feelings of maybe not feeling good enough, unworthiness, or not knowing how to be your authentic self, all of that. So listen up. So it started with, I made a post about how my man made me fall more in love. And I love the post. No, and before I get going, no one talked bad about my post, nothing like that. This is just coming from me, my mind, and how I felt about it. So I made the post, and within it, I was like, just because someone doesn't know their self-worth and self-love, do they deserve to be treated so poorly and to be taken advantage of? I was just posing the questions in there. If you haven't, you can go check it out. It's on my IG. Go back about a week, maybe 4 or 5 days to a week. And it starts off with my man made me fall more in love with myself, or my man made me love myself more, something like that. I don't remember how I worded it or began it. But yeah. And so then, today, yesterday, I saw a post that explained healing within a relationship and healing outside of a relationship. And I was like, that's great. It kind of touched on what I touched on, but in a more therapist type way, not from like a personal standpoint. And I liked it. And, I was like, I wonder, and this is me self-talking. And I was like, I wonder if this person maybe saw my post. And because we follow each other, we're both content creators. No shade against anyone in this. But I was like, I wonder if she saw my post and decided to make a post explaining it better. Because maybe, I was wrong for trying to say that, you can heal within a relationship. Like maybe they're just trying to reiterate it. And like, this was me talking to myself. Because I felt like maybe my message was too soft. Maybe my message was too emotional. Maybe my message was I started doubting myself because after I seen that post, it started making me doubt mine. And then I saw another post today. It was a video from someone that I follow. And she's well known, especially across TikTok. We don't follow each other. I don't know if she knows really about me. I'm not sure. But in my head, when she made the video, she said something like, what did she say? People get pissed off when you tell them that before they can love someone else, they have to love themselves. And like I said, this probably was not directed to me. I don't even think she knows me. Even if it was, oh well. But it was like I started just spiraling, you know? Because I'm like, I don't want my message to come across to anyone like I'm saying, don't love yourself. And I don't know where it came from. I guess I was doubting the message anyway, because I'm like, haven't we always preached, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Don't try to, find it healing in someone else. And here I am trying to preach this, I guess, radical, different type of message. And it started weighing heavily on me. Like, I didn't delete the post. I never will. I still love it. But I'm like, maybe I should be worried. And then I was like, maybe that's why I'm not excelling in this. I started spiraling. I started thinking like, maybe if I want to be good enough, I got to hold the people in my community more accountable and start trying to be so soft and emotional with them. And, because I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Should I be as harsh, or should I be different? Or maybe I just started thinking all these thoughts about myself, and I'm tearing up because I'm like, this is very vulnerable of me to do, because I wasn't gonna express me processing all of this, but I'm just letting you know how deep it got. And because if you know me, I've always been known for delivering the truth, but in a soft way, in a way that's to me more honest and truthful to you, instead of degrading yourself or talking bad about yourself or anyone else. The only people I've kind of talked shit on was the men. But now I really don't even do that no more. I'm more so focused on the women's healing. If you haven't noticed a slight change in my messages, I share some of my old ones sometimes about talking shit about the men, but I'm trying to do something different and maneuver away from that, because I want my girlfriends to focus on their healing and not how much of ain't shit the men were that they were dealing with. So I've been trying to maneuver into that, but I've been doing it in a soft, gentle approach. And I started questioning myself, thinking like, am I being too gentle? Am I being too soft? And after processing, and I wrote some more tweets that I'm going to publish on my Instagram. You probably see by the time you hear this, that, it's kind of like me putting a button to processing this and healing. And I'm like, you know what? Accountability doesn't have to be tough love. And I started even further thinking like, okay, Kindall, think about how you healed on your journey. You were soft with yourself. And look how well you turned out. So I'm like, it started me thinking more like, it's okay to be me even if there's no one else like me. It's okay to have a different approach to things. It's okay to have a different outlook. It's okay to have a different perspective. It's okay for me to be different. And I affirmed myself in that and realized that I have a place in the world, even just being myself, authentic, true self, even being my different self. I've always been a feeler, a thinker, being emotional and softer in my approach, because I never wanted to, I just don't like to talk harshly to any of you or to myself, or give tough love. I like more compassion and understanding type love. And it's so different than what I see on the internet. And then I reminded myself that, well, Kindall, this is why you started this journey. I had to remember why I started, who I am, my gift to the world. And this is where you come in doing it for yourself. You have to realize that it's okay to be different. It's okay to have a different approach. It's okay to even have the moments where you're feeling like, maybe I'm not good enough because I'm different. You just have to remind yourself that, it's okay. You have to remind yourself that it's okay to be a little different. That makes you that more beautiful, and that's your place in the world. That's your mark in the world. That's you. There's no one like you. And so, getting back to why I started this whole journey, this whole, I've been that girl movement, I started it because I remember I didn't like how so many people will talk so bad about the women that were in the public eye, celebrities or whatever, that were getting talked about so badly because they stayed with a cheating man, because they stayed in a bad relationship because, how people will just comfort them saying, oh, they stupid, they don't know their worth. I'm like, no, that's not what's wrong with us. Like, that's not nice to do that to people that are already feeling down. Like, it's so much deeper than it because I've been through it. Like, I'm just not a celebrity and my shit's not in the media, but I'm like, it's not fair to do that. And I'm like, I want to be a voice for those women that really have gone through traumatic relationships and have a traumatic past and things they're trying to heal through. I really wanted to be different with my approach, a gentler approach, a more understanding and compassionate approach. And it still gets the job done. Instead of being all, you got to quit being stupid, quit being weak in the knees, stand up, this and that. You know how people, that's a saying on one of these TikTok videos or something. I've never really heard it, but I've seen people quote it. It's like, stand up, they weak in the knees or something like that. Or just, it's just, I just like a different approach. That approach, some people, it works for some people. I've noticed. If some people don't mind it and that, and it works. But what I do can work for people too. And it is working for over 100,000 people. And that's not me bragging. That's just me realizing that, my place and who I am deserves to leave its mark in the world, even if it's different, even if I have a different outlook, And that was me processing that. And I wanted to share because a lot of you may be having issues with being more your authentic self and self-acceptance. It's hard to accept yourself when you see so many other people being different than you in the world. Or maybe you're not even seeing the real them because you're seeing them through, the lens of you thinking they're perfect because of what they portray on social media, or because you don't know them very well and deeply in person, whatever it is. You're thinking you're so different than everyone. But me expressing myself on my I've Been That Girl page made me realize that I'm not that much different. It's a lot of us that have a lot of things in common. And even you guys say, how much I'm helping and healing you. You're doing that for me too, because I honestly, some of the things I've shared was just me thinking that I felt that way on my own, because I don't feel like it's talked about in this way. I don't feel that people talk about it deeply enough. Like, I love the therapist pages that are out there that talk about from a more therapeutic standpoint. But I really didn't feel like there was anyone that's sharing their personal journey or story, like being intimate with the details and letting people not feel so alone. Like, once I started speaking that over myself and realizing who I am, why I started, why I'm doing this, I got my worth back. Like, I've been using the tools that I've learned on my healing journey. And usually this would have took me weeks to get over and figure out. But now I can do it within the same day or 24 hours. And I'm processing it, because as soon as I'm feeling something, I'm like, this is not right. Well, I don't say it's not right. I feel it and I'm like, okay, something's coming up here. I'm feeling some way. And I be honest about what I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling worthless right now. I'm feeling like that being myself is not enough. I'm feeling like I'm not enough and I'm feeling worthless right now. That doesn't mean I feel like I'm worthless overall, but I had to be honest with myself about what I was feeling. And so I started, unpacking it and discovering it. And that's what I came up with. I had to remind myself of who the fuck I am. And y'all got to do the same thing. I know it's hard to do because there's so many people in the world that are different than you. So many people in the world that are portraying something different than you. But so many people in the world are probably being fake as well. So many people in the world probably don't even know their authentic selves or know who to be. Some of the people in the world are probably doing the bandwagon approach and jumping on board with everybody else and thinking like everybody else and trying to be like everybody else. You don't want to do that. Live in your truths. And that's what I started realizing is like, you know what? I'm just going to have to accept that I'm just a little different. That I'm just a little softer with my approach. I'm just a little more emotional. I am a feeler. I am a thinker. I am just soft. I'm just different. I am a crier. I just have a different approach. I like a more intimate approach, more emotional approach, because I want people to feel their emotions. Not run for them and not cover them up or not drown in them, because I don't want any girlfriend that ever listens to me or follows me or in my community, whatever, to ever feel like, they're getting hit even more and having more salt poured into their wounds and receiving more tough love. Like, I just feel like accountability you can hold yourself accountable in softer ways, in gentler ways, gentle reminders, a more gentle approach. Someone that I really love on the internet that's very gentle with her approach is Alex L. She has like a book and journals and stuff out as well. She's, has a blue check mark. I've been watching her glow up for a while, and she's came a long way. And I really admire her. And I admire her work as well. She has a way with words. She is very gentle with her approach. If you like something more gentle as well, I suggest following her. Her name is Alex L. That's someone I feel is very gentle with their approach. And something else that I want to add to this is that I don't know if any of you remember listening to a podcast on here before where I was talking about how someone that I networked with, I kind of felt betrayed by them. And the relationship had to end, and they ended by them just blocking me. And I had to figure out on my own what possibly was the reason. And it hurt because we had really networked and I thought we were really cool. And it turns out they believed some things about me that I was copying their work, which I wasn't. And it was just really, really hard to deal with. Because for one, I don't like being blamed. And for two, I thought we were really cool. Cooler than that. I guess not. So it was hard to deal with. But something that I realized is that now looking back and now as I'm growing is that this is no shade to this person at all. But they weren't really in alignment with me and my message anyway. That's what kind of boggled my mind, how they believe that I was copying them. So I'm like, I have such more of a gentler approach to things. I'm very deep and emotional. Not saying they weren't. They were more so like, 2 fingers, snap your fingers, pop my gum. This is bullshit. I kind of like that sometimes. But I feel like I'm more of a gentler approach. And so I didn't understand it, why they even think that. But, that's their journey. That's how they feel. I've healed that part. I've been through that and healed it. I don't remember which podcast it's on when I was talking about that. But, that's something I realized that had to happen, had to let go of. Because it was getting to the point where I found myself confused about my message. Because it was like, should I be a little more, not harsh, should I be a little more different with my approach? Should my language, how I talk be more like that? I don't know. But I just realized now that we just weren't in alignment with each other. And I hate that it had to end that way. But to be honest, I don't think I would have ever, not followed them or not, I don't think I would have ever not fucked with them, I guess, so to speak. Even though it was some things that would come up that I didn't feel good about that this person would do. Like how they would talk so badly to the people, to the like trolls, or to even people that weren't really trolls, people that were just having legitimate questions, or people that were, saying things that maybe was different than her opinion. I just started seeing, their approach to those things. I'm like, I would never talk like that to people. And then I started questioning myself, like, maybe, I should. Maybe something wrong with me. I don't, I was just confused about that. And I remember feeling that way about them. I didn't hate them, but I was like, I just don't know about them like that. Like, I don't know if I like them like that anymore. Like it was when we first began networking. And I just would let it ride, like, I won't worry about it, whatever. But then that happened, and I look back and I was like, I was already feeling that way. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when you're trying to really, be who you are, be your authentic self, it's hard sometimes because of the people around you. And I feel like it's best to be around people that, I don't want to say are like you. You can be around people that are a little different than you, will have different opinions. But I guess I'm trying to say it's better to be around people that really influence the person that you want to be in the world and want to be for yourself. Someone that is more in alignment with you. Someone that makes you not question yourself so much. You feel me? I guess I'm like someone who just makes choices and decisions you like. I said it a lot with relationships, but that's with not only romantic relationships, platonic too, our relationships. Someone that, you just fuck with on every level, I guess. And so that made me remind me of that. Like, more and more I see that had to happen. Because now I'm feeling like it's, I don't want to say a breath of fresh air, but something like that. It's like an exhale. And I'm like, okay, that thing that was kind of stressing me out, I didn't even realize it. I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's been months since this happened. So I've been worked and processed through it. I even talked about it on here. But I realized that, I needed that so I can flourish more in who I am and be who I am, my authentic self. It's just like if I was in a relationship with someone and I felt like I had to be different or water myself down, or I was confused about who I am, or I was losing myself in them, I would have to let it go in order to get me back, more than likely. So it's the same thing. And so, yeah, now that I look back on it, I'm like, you know what? That was in alignment with that happening. And I did block this person back on everything because I'm like, whenever you decide to come around, if you do, you won't be able to find me. Like, for you to do that and believe that about me, it's forever deuces then. Some things just don't need to be rekindled. I put it that way. Because I'm fine now without it. But, yeah. So, really, all in all, what I'm saying with this is, I know it's hard to be yourself sometimes. I get the struggle with that. I feel you all struggles with that. I've even coached some of you all that have struggles with that. And I get it. But the way to do it is to sometimes silence the outside voices and really, really hold yourself true to your voice, no matter how different it is. Even be true to you, no matter how different you feel you are. I guarantee you, there are a lot more people that have can relate to you than you realize. And what can help is maybe joining organizations or groups, Facebook groups, whatever, joining things with people that are similar to you, like you, whatever. Like, I follow a bunch of introvert pages on Instagram. Or you can follow a lot of pages about your astrological sign and something that where you feel like you have community. And that's why you all follow me, because you feel like there's community there and you feel like, okay, I can relate. This is someone that I can lay my burdens out to, someone that gets me, someone that's been through what I've been through, that's healed, like that. Surround yourself with people that you can relate to. And just relate to yourself. Like, just be authentically you. And understand that it may come off different. It may feel different. It may not be what everyone else is thinking, but that's okay. That's you. You still deserve to have a place in your word. You still deserve to leave your mark in the word. You still deserve it all. Just being you. That's something that I want you to affirm for yourself. Like, no matter how different you are, no matter what your journey looks like, no matter, even some of you maybe say that you're afraid of what others will think if you embark on a journey and whatnot, or if you start really being yourself, they will be okay. And they will grow to know the new you. And if they don't, they don't. But most of them, they will. Just do it for you. This is how you choose yourself. Choose yourself. Okay? And just start really living in your truth. And if you have to journal out, what some of your truths are, and especially the ones you feel are different than others, or stuff that you feel makes you, feel ostracized, I guess I would say. Like, write it out and read it to yourself and realize that, you're still special because that's you. And just look at how unique it is and how it's not like anyone else. Or, it may be people that you can relate to that is actually like you. Either way, it's still you and it still has purpose. and it's still powerful, and it's still deserving. It's all those things. It's all the things, and I realized that I'm going to keep on being soft with my approach. I'm going to keep on being gentle. I'm going to keep on being a touchy-feely, not touchy-feely, a feely person. I'm still going to be a crier. I'm still going to be all those things because I have to be me. I have to be my authentic self. And if you're listening to this all the way to the end, then you should know that I'm actually been thinking of this new book I'm working on. And I've had the title for a minute. I had what it's going to be about for a minute. And I've been trying to collect what I want it to be on and how I want it to be. And I'm writing it now. Probably out, I would say, in the next couple of months. I haven't written it yet, but I'm already gathering what I want to put it in my head, putting it together. It's going to be called Soft Love. That's going to be the new name of it's going to be kind of like a quote book, but more so like I don't want to say essays, but kind of like, just my other quote book I got were just reflections and whatnot to help you hold yourself accountable, but in a soft, loving way. Because I'm like, fuck tough love and fuck how everybody else do their approach and how they talk and all of that. That's fine if it works for some, but over here, for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be soft with my approach. And I'm writing a book. It's going to be called Soft Love. Y'all the ones that know it and hear it first. But yeah, I'm probably going to go in here and start. Well, actually, I got a lot to do tonight. We got a busy week ahead. But I was going to start working on it right on it now. But I've already written a lot of posts that are going to be in it. And I have some other things I'm going to put in it. All of it's going to be on like tough love, like helping yourself heal after either a bad relationship or just heal through things generally. Anything that you could be going through. It's going to be things that I've went through and how I approached, healing through it. Because everything I've healed through was me being soft. It's like I became the parent that I wanted when growing up, the soft approach parent. I I was a crybaby growing up, and no one ever actually nurtured me or nurtured my tears or, soothed me, just told me to shut up, that I was a crybaby, that I cried too much. It was just the worst. And when being a kid, you think maybe I am a crybaby, I cry too much. You think bad about yourself because everybody else do. But as I got older, I realized it's okay for me to be that way. And so, yeah, I've just realized that all the things that I've healed through, a lot of you asked how I healed, how I got through, but it was really just me being soft on myself. It was really me just being, having compassion for myself and nurturing, hugging myself almost, and just being there for myself and hugging myself, loving myself. All of it was just really me, just really being there for me. And, talking to me how I would want anyone else to talk to me, talking to me how I would want someone to mother me, parent me, and just being really soft. And still being truthful. Like I still got to the truth of things. And I wrote a post that may be on my Instagram already. I wrote a post about that healing part, about how I did not belittle myself, degrade myself, talk bad about myself. I never said I was stupid for staying with him. I never thought that I was dumb for staying with him. I never bashed myself at all. And I was just instead figured out, why I stayed with someone like that, why I tolerated that. I started trying to answer those questions of why, But that's what I realized. So I'm writing a whole book about it. Like, people, it's like, I feel like the world deserves this version instead of tough love. So I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. It's going to be called Soft Love. And I don't give a fuck if it's different than everyone else's approach. I just got to be me. And it feels right. It feels good. I'm excited about it. It feels right to me. So, yeah. I'm going to keep being soft in my approach, but also making sure to put truth and accountability in there, because you can do both. You don't have to be tough to do it. I've realized that, and I'm going to keep being me. And you just keep being you, girlfriends. Okay? Please do. No matter how different it is than someone else, that's what makes you you. Keep being you. But That's all I got for this podcast episode, girlfriends. Until the next one, peace out.